Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Teresa Dale, and you are listening to Natural Health Radio. We are also streaming on Facebook Live at this moment, so you can just file on in and I'll see your names. And if you have any questions, I'm going to try to get to it. We have some new segments this week, and we're going to have them every week. And those new segments are on food as medicine, politics, your health freedom and politics about health. And we have another one, a surprise for you. So we're just going to start and then have all of them at different times. So we want to first start with what's happening in the news related to healthcare. And related to health issues and health care. All right. And I think part today of the issues that I get across my desk from all of our customers, from various sources related to radiation, is so interesting. There is a website that you can go to called EWG.com, and what they've done is collected the data from all countries, their data on radiation from cell phones. Okay, so every country has their own rules related to how much EMFs and how high the connection can go, as far as 5G, 4G, 3G, and all of those things. And we see that the majority of countries are limiting and trying to eliminate, but some countries are trying to limit and other countries are trying to eliminate cell phone towers and Wi-Fi in schools, in grade schools, in kindergarten. They are trying to eliminate this. Now, this seems like a no-brainer to me, but yet the cell phone companies seem to have won in so many areas. But we need to fight for this. We do not want Wi-Fi or cell phones in kindergarten and grade schools because it affects children worse than adults. Sometimes there's cell phone towers right on top of the school because the cell phone tower company pays the school a fee. It's like a leasing fee for leasing their space. Now, we have to prohibit this. There's no reason to have this and to expose children to needless radiation. And some countries like India, you think of India as being a third world country? Not really. They're up to speed on lots of things, including healthcare, but also on the amount of if you're looking at 5G or 4G or 3G, go down to almost 2G, and that's all they allow in their countries because the EMFs are so harmful to people. And if you work around Wi-Fi, you're getting that every single day. You're getting that all day long if you're on your computer or on Wi-Fi. So we have to make you aware of this, you see. It's so very important. Now, the other thing to be aware of is radiation protection. Okay, radiation protection. Now, some phones have cases that have radiation protection, but it doesn't cover, of course, the front of the phone. There is a company called LessEMF.com that gives clear plastic thin sheets that see-through to go over the face of the phone, the front of the phone, where where you're looking at all day, and that blocks some of the radiation. You want to go to lessemf.com. It's a tip from me. They're not an advertiser. It's just very good for your health to look there at all the devices and things that you can get, including for your smart meter, they're called smart meters. It's smart for somebody, but not for the human beings that live in the house. And there is protection that you can get to block the radiation, and that goes over the smart meter so that it still works, but the radiation is dramatically cut from going into your home, right? So wireless is something we want to avoid. We want to avoid it at all costs because it's harmful to be exposed to it. We want to also understand that if you go to ewg.org, you can see a list of countries and the ones that are fighting and prohibiting wireless from being in schools and cell phone towers from being on top of schools. Okay, and including the U.S. has some states that are doing that. One that is very careful is Wyoming. Jackson Hole, Wyoming has a prohibition on, you cannot, on wireless and on many different things. Berkeley, California is another one that seems to be trying to protect people. But why should it be state by state? Why can't the government make a rule to keep this stuff away from our children? Period. So we feel that Natural Health Radio, what we're all about, is to give you things that you can do to protect yourself, make you aware, keep you empowered, and to hopefully give you tools that will make your life better. So as we speak, we need to know that once you've been exposed to radiation, any kind of radiation, including wireless, EMF, EMR, nuclear radiation, you can detox it from your body using one remedy, and it's a homeopathic remedy on my website called Radiation X. Okay, Radiation X is homeopathic and will eliminate it from your body and help protect you. Many of the devices that you can buy and spend money on to use for your phone, these little gadgets you paste on, they don't work. But what you can do is go to lessemf.com, give them a call, and they have some viable answers and solutions for you. Now we need to look at a radiation-free diet, okay? And to do that, we are going to go to using food as medicine.
This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale, your host. This is Using Food as Medicine.
So food as medicine is about dealing with, we were talking about radiation and your diet. You get it from Fukushima because that nuclear plant is still downloading into the ocean. Okay, they haven't fixed it, shut it down. And from what I understand, that it's nearly impossible to do that. It's not like Chernobyl where they actually put the whole thing under cement. That's not possible with the Fukushima power plant. And the radiation that's going into the ocean day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute is traveling throughout the ocean, and all the fish on the west coast, including Alaska. And then, that people say, well, is it contained there? No, fish swim. Okay, so it's going to travel throughout the ocean, and what we need to do is understand not to eat fish, maybe unless it's from Greenland or Scotland or Ireland or the Atlantic. I would avoid fish in totality from the Pacific coast. Now, if you eat fish and if you notice that you're not feeling so good and you can't figure out why, and your blood tests and everything can't really show radiation, and your doctor may not be familiar with it, you can just do a little radiation detox and get the Radiation X kit, Radiation Detox Kit. Okay, and that's on our website. So that's the way we use food as medicine to help us. That formula radiation is homeopathic, and that kit includes some bioavailable iodine. Very, very important. We want to do that. Now, when we look at food as medicine, we also look at how we can heal our body from things like radiation. We have an answer and a solution for radiation. We also have an answer and a solution for other things, many other things. So if you are dehydrated, of course you want to drink more water. You want to drink 3 8-ounce glasses of water a day, minimal. Or the best would be 2 liters of water a day. And we want to include eating certain foods that help us to hydrate. If we don't have a blood sugar issue, we can use organic grapes. You notice they're full of water and they help hydrate the body. And those people that are not allergic to tomatoes, which are, by the way, very yin, but if we're not allergic to tomatoes, we can eat raw tomatoes, raw grapes. Maybe a tomato and a bunch of, grapes will help to keep us hydrated. Let's say we're traveling and we're a little bit dehydrated. We're on a plane. We can only drink so much water because you can only get so much water. Maybe you want to always pack a little container of some grapes so that you can take that with you, especially organic grapes. So using those foods to hydrate besides water would be a very, very good idea. You can feel a difference almost right away when you start eating them. Be aware if you have a blood sugar issue, that may not be good for you. So this is food, using food as medicine for today. And now we're going to go into our next segment.
This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale. This is Emotions and Your Health.
This is a topic that is something I talk about quite often. It's about how you can heal yourself by being aware of what you're thinking and how that thinking is causing you to have emotions that are uncomfortable, like fear, anger, frustration, resentment, maybe even low self-esteem and rejection, right? So those emotions come from thoughts, belief systems, and identities. You can be aware of every time you have an emotion that's uncomfortable. Take a look at what you're thinking so that that emotion is front and center for you, that emotion, you can feel it coming up. And I also know that you would be aware of what you're thinking at the time. Make a note of that thought, of that belief system, and then do a resist and desire process on it. And you're saying, what in the world is that? Well, if you read my book, Revitalize Your Hormones, it's in there for you. So you go to the book, look at the chapter, dealing with emotions and spirituality, and you will see the resist and desire process. It's easy. It works for everyone. And you want to take that belief that keeps causing you to have an unpleasant or uncomfortable emotion, a negative emotion, and feeling fear when it's propagated by a thought is a really good place to start. Also feeling anger that's propagated by a thought. So the resist and desire process is in your toolkit now. You can easily access that through my book, Revitalize Your Hormones. And you do the process once for every belief system, because every thought has a belief system. For example, let's say fear. Let's say all of a sudden you become panicky and have anxiety and you're fearful about something. Take a look at what the thought is. It could be anything. It could be about something happening to you or someone that you love in the future, or something that happened in the past, and you're carrying this thought and belief system around. What you want to do is do the resist and desire process on that. So every belief system that is causing an uncomfortable feeling, you want to do that process on. Now, that uncomfortable feeling is causing you immense stress. And so when you look at your hormones and you look at what affects your hormones the most and compromises their normal functionality, we have to look at our emotions. We have to look at our belief system, because they all can create stress. So the idea is to get rid of the stress. The idea is to get rid of belief systems that don't serve you, that sabotage your happiness and your overall health. And that's what we need to do. That's where we need to go. So I hope you can follow through on this and let me know how you like that process and how it helped you. Give us a call. Let us know. Our phone number is 800-219-1261. Now, if you want to take the neuroemotional survey because you're not quite sure which emotions are coming up, every day or all the time, and sometimes a person can have a number of the different ones and it can be confusing, go to thewellnesscenter.net. At the very top green bar, you'll see free self-tests. Open it up. There's one called the Neuroemotional Survey. Take that yourself right there, fill it out, and then submit it. And then you'll get an idea of what to do about the emotions that are coming up and help you, because you have to find the belief system as what you're thinking very specifically in order for that fear or that anxiety or the uncomfortableness that is creating a stress. So you need to do that process on it. Okay, well, we are going to go to another segment right now, and this one is a doozy.
This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale. This is Your Health, Freedom, and Politics.
This is a very interesting one because it's very timely. We have political campaigns that are starting right now for the next year. We have everybody who is getting into the act. There's more people running in the Democratic Party than I have ever experienced in my life. Everyone and their mother is going to take a chance on trying to win your heart, your mind. But we need to be aware, observant, and we need to ask questions and write letters. And one of those, the most important thing is, I think, about healthcare. Now, we have to look at Medicare for all, and we have to look at it careful. It's a great idea. I love the idea. Only if it includes natural medicine, and only if you can go to a natural health provider and use your insurance. Okay, or if natural health providers are included in natural health care. And this is the elephant in the room. No one has said anything about it, including Bernie Sanders. No one has mentioned what Medicare for all includes. Is it going to be the same old, same old? Is it going to be just traditional medicine? Is it going to be pumping vaccines into your kids and making it mandatory? What is it? So we must fight, and we must fight through our communication, through letters, and we want to write letters to all the candidates and ask them to think about and communicate to the general public about what is included in Medicare for all and a national health care system. If it has natural medicine in it, like Germany, Switzerland, France, England, all the countries, Austria, okay, if it has that in it, included in hospitals, I mean, sign me up. But if it doesn't, is it just going to be more of the same, which is disrespecting the human body and the human being by not giving them what they want and not educating them on their choices? How will that be handled? That is the big elephant in the room. And in order to know that, we need to be vocal. We need to be activists. We need to get that information before we make a decision. My advice, I'm not voting for Medicare for all until I know that. And I have emailed, written several times, a few candidates, and I get no response. So even the Bernie campaign, zero response. So that tells me, A, they haven't thought about it. B, they think traditional medicine is fine for everybody. And C, they don't know the statistics on iatrogenesis of disease, meaning the 780,000 plus fatalities that occur every single year because of medical mistakes. That is why we need to know this. We need to know how to help ourselves, heal ourselves. Other countries, China. In China, they do ozone therapy of the blood to kill viruses and cancer. They have all kinds of natural medicines that they use in China, in Japan. We have to know that what we have right now is terrible medicine and no choices. That is not good for humanity. So in order to make it good for humanity, we have to be outspoken and activists, write letters, and express our ideas and opinions. I'm sure most of us and many of us, or not, if not all of us, have much better ideas than what they're going to do. Because what they're going to do probably has nothing to do with natural medicine. It has to do with money, how they pay for it. Well, here's how other countries pay for it. They use natural medicine if a person wants it, and they totally recommend that over traditional. And the reason is to get people out of the hospital better as quickly as possible so it doesn't break the country. That's how they afford it, is they heal people and get them out. And we need to think about that when we make our choices for the upcoming elections. Who's going to do the right thing? Okay? We have to hear something back. If you can go to some of these events, if you can sit in the audience at some of these events, raise your hand, go to them, ask the question, and see what kind of a response you get. Because the response would be not only for you, but for everybody listening and all the TV audience and everything. So we need to be vocal. Going back now to looking at our health, freedom, and politics, all I can think about is how other countries have the opportunity to become educated about their body and about health care. Doctors are educators. Doctors do recognize that healthcare has been around for so long. As far as natural health medicine, homeopathy is huge. And one of the countries that is really modeling this is India. Okay, they have over 110 purely homeopathic hospitals. Well, and that's free to the people. How does India afford it? People get better. They give them a remedy. They give them an IV of homeopathy in the hospital. They do use food, vegetarianism, natural diets. Okay, people get better and leave the hospital quicker. Okay, less surgeries. So that is how they do it. It works. It's a simple solution, but it's not going to happen without you. You have to do something just like I'm doing something. We all have to do something together. All of these candidates will be lecturing and presenting and having rallies all over the country. Get up in front, raise your hand, and get a microphone and ask the question. Will Medicare for All include natural medicine like it does in other countries? Simple question. Wait for the answer. See if it happens. And that'll tell you everything about that person. Or maybe they never thought about it. And maybe from that point, they will take action and start thinking about it. So what we need to do at this point is be aware of the fact that human beings in our society are suffering because of our health care. They are suffering because of the original condition that was not dealt with correctly, where the patient was not educated as far as a diet to eat, as far as what natural supplements to take to help them, about their lifestyle, about exercise. In many cases, they were not communicated about that. And this is why we have things the way it is. And I think you're on this. You're listening tonight. You're here on Facebook Live because there's something that interests you. Take an interest in this next election. Let's choose somebody to vote for who is going to give us Medicare for All that is inclusive of natural medicine, whether it's acupuncture, whether it's chiropractic, whether it's naturopathy, okay, whether it's osteopathy, whether it's clinical nutrition. Homeopathy is the answer. Let me tell you something. They wouldn't use it in every hospital in every other country, okay, because when the government pays for it, they'll go broke if it has to be in the system that we have. Right now, insurance companies pay. You pay for partially, perhaps, for surgeries, for drugs, for medications. What if it was easy? What if you got what you need in the hospital and your taking care of these things was as far as you could do, which is using diet, using nutrition, using homeopathic medicine at home? What if you were educated on that? I'm telling you, this is the answer. And if you agree with me, then go to some of these rallies and ask the question. I want to motivate you to do that. I want to empower you to do that because what you have to say matters. You know, it's like whatever it is that you need to do. Now, the way that I feel is that whatever your race, whatever your color, whatever your creed, whatever your religion, you deserve great health. The only way to get that is through education, through natural medicine, from making the right choices. So that is why I want to empower you with this today. And in this last segment, there is so much to talk to, especially week after week on this political issue, because it will be heated up. And I investigate. I am talking and emailing the candidates that are in the running so far and trying to find out, what they believe. At least get a response that says, I don't know something. No response is not a response. So that means I would not respond to people who do not respond to me. I mean, if they have no respect for the human population and in the United States, then we know where we stand on that, right? So I think we should do something and then just let us know. Give us a call and let us know what you find out. 800-219-1261. And now I am just going to move on to giving you some information on the latest on glyphosate, Roundup, people who are being poisoned and by this pesticide, herbicide. Monsanto has had other lawsuits that they have lost. It is now conclusive, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that glyphosate causes cancer. Glyphosate that's in Roundup, which is the main killer, causes cancer. There are ads on TV that say, I don't know if you saw this, Daryl. Did you ever see the ad?
For the Roundup itself, or
Yeah.
There's a new product that I just saw a commercial for a couple of days ago. Claims to be a chemical, but they're saying it's organic.
Well, that I don't know about,
Yeah, so
but it could be or could not.
I'll write it down next time.
Could be or could not be. You could always use that. That's a very good point. But I saw an ad 3 times, 3 nights this weekend. I was away training health providers, but there was an ad on TV that said if you've been exposed to glyphosate, there's a good chance that, and if you have cancer, then call us.
So it's a class action suit
It's
lawyer.
a class action lawsuit lawyer, because this is real.
It's going to be huge.
Huge.
They've had actual settlements with people that have had cancer that they've found a bond between that and the glyphosate, obviously.
Right.
And the settlements have been millions of dollars.
Millions, 275 million. Not worth getting cancer over, that's for sure. But when a person has cancer from something that is on the grocery store shelf, we need to insist that it's taken off the market. And if that company, Monsanto, continues to sell it, they should be put out of business. So we go after them is what we do.
Yeah, I've used it.
Yeah.
Not recently, but I've used it several years ago.
So, I mean, and the other thing is that they spray it in the growing fields on the food you eat, on the vegetables and stuff. That's what they're still using. And they're still crop dusting. I know I've seen it in Camarillo, California. I've seen planes that go very low and drop the chemicals on plants, and then they have the machines that roll around over them that spray. And we have to understand that this is not okay. Glyphosate is on 70% of our vegetables. The other 30% is organic vegetables. 70% of our vegetables, that's in canned, in frozen food, in fresh, have been absolutely proven to contain glyphosate. People are measuring it. They're testing it now for your safety. And this is why I want to bring this to you today, is it's so very important. Don't buy anything that isn't organic. Just go to Whole Foods. They have organic and non-organic. They have everything these days. But if you can go to a natural market that only sells organic food, they have little stickers on them that say organic, like on bananas and eggplants and potatoes. There's little stickers, and whenever you buy kale and leafy vegetables, it will have a little like a little tag on it that says organic. So that's what you need to buy.
Plus, Roundup is a pre-emergent agent, right? So it works at the root level, and if it's working on the weeds, it's working on the vegetables as well. And even if it's not on the surface, it's probably inside there somewhere.
Yeah, it's inside the plant. Like, it's not just on the leaves.
So just washing the plant off is not good enough.
Now, what you could do, a better option is to take the vegetables, put them in a sink full of water, and take a quarter of a teaspoon of food grade hydrogen peroxide, 30% strength, put it in the water and soak it. That will help get a little bit more out of it. Ozonating it, you can get an ozone purifier, and for about $100 on Amazon or other places online, and it has a tube that goes on the end, and the other end goes in your sink. You can ozonate it. That would probably do the best job at eliminating most of it, maybe 80% of it, but you'd still have it left in the vegetables because it's actually inside of the vegetable, not just coating the vegetable. So the easiest thing is buy organic. Buy organic frozen, buy organic fresh. Fresh is better, but if you need to buy frozen fruit, there's organic frozen fruit, and it's wonderful. So you can use that in your smoothies. Everything should be organic that you eat because that's protecting yourself from disease in the future. It's like your insurance policy. Who wouldn't want a little extra insurance policy, right? So we need to look at this in a way that is protecting your future, protecting your children's future. And everything you do related to natural medicine and related to organic food, it's like money going into the bank because that's less money you will have to pay on health care because you'll be taking care of yourself. You won't be detoxifying. You won't be toxifying your body. And I think it's the most important thing I can say to you today is that you're worth it. And you're worth it. You're worth being healthy and taking care of yourself. And it's all about education and doing the right thing. So I shared with you a couple of ways now that you can detoxify the vegetables, but it's not 100%. And you're spending money on the hydrogen peroxide and you're spending $100 on the ozone generation. All you have to do is buy organic vegetables. It's going to be a lot cheaper. So that's what we need to do in every case, and spend a lot of time cooking, like preparing your foods or, I do all of that, and maybe I'll spend 15 minutes per meal. But I know how to make it quick and easy and delicious. You just need to be prepared. One of the other things that's so very important is when we are consuming food, we want to think about the oils that we use in preparing them, right? Oil like olive oil and avocado oil should be added to the food after it's cooked. You don't want to fry in it because then the oil, if it gets too hot, it turns into a trans fat that's toxic, carcinogenic. So we want to put the oil on after. We should get a really good fry pan or pan to use where we can cook with a little bit of either Bragg's amino, or we can take a little bit of tomato sauce and water, or even If you wanted to use some almond milk or hemp milk in the pan to kind of make a curry, then that would be good. We need to keep the vegetables moist, but we could be sauteing them in something very light like that, and not to be cooking in the oils. If we're just stir frying for a few minutes, that's completely different. If we have a stir-fry pan, we can put a little bit of olive oil in there, and we can just quickly stir-fry everything and have it be wonderful. So oils are key. Most oils can be rancid when you buy them in the health food store if they sit on the shelf too long. Check your expiration date. If it's getting close to the end of the expiration of what it says on the label, don't buy them. Get the food with the longest expiration date on the label, because that will be the freshest product. All right, so we want at this point to look at, we've talked about not frying, not deep frying, sauteing or stir frying, but even stir frying is better than sauteing because most people put too much oil in there for sauteing. But stir frying, you put a little bit, move the food around, you keep it going, and it's just tastes good and everything. And you stick that on some rice noodles or mung bean sprouts, and put a little bit of spices on there, and it could be just wonderful. The other thing is cooking with or eating gluten. Gliadins are, we have to look at gluten, and we can have a test. It's called a gliadin test to see if we're allergic to gluten. All right. Some people are allergic to gluten even though they don't have celiac sprue disease. Just because you're allergic to gluten or you are sensitive to gluten doesn't mean that you have celiac sprue disease. It just means you should avoid gluten. Gluten's very sticky, can cause you to gain weight, could cause digestive problems, and it's much lighter and healthier to eat gluten-free. So what grains are they? Well, you can get these grains that I'm going to talk about in a pasta form, whether it's linguine or fettuccine or little elbows or little shells. You can get quinoa pasta. You can get brown rice pasta, which is heavier and doesn't taste as good, unless you buy the Asian brown rice noodles, the thin, flat noodles. They are yummy and they taste great. The other thing that's going to be surprising for you to talk about is pasta that's made out of almond flour. Have you ever tried almond flour?
Not by itself. I may have eaten a few things that have been added as an ingredient, but it sounds marvelous.
Well, when you think about almond flour, think about light, think about naturally a little tiny bit sweet, and just so good. They actually make almond fettuccine.
I've had almond milk.
Oh, there you go.
And we did buy a zoodler machine over the
you
weekend
got zoodles.
and had fun with it, yeah.
Yeah. You can do zucchinis that way, right? Did you try some zucchinis?
We did, and it's really cool.
Yeah. So it can take a zucchini and make little noodles out of it, right? And then you can put some tasty little sauce on it, and you're eating something totally healthy that tastes good. How awesome is that?
Well, I've always been a fan of spaghetti squash, too.
Oh, I love that. Yep, that's very good.
Nature's little surprise.
It is a big surprise. You don't expect that, do you, when you open it?
No, the first time I saw that, I went, what is that?
Well, nature has a lot in store for us, that's for sure. I love spaghetti squash. I love the zucchini noodles. I adore the almond noodles. Now, you can get those at a health food store. It's going to be in the refrigerated or the freezer section. That same company that makes the almond noodles makes gnocchi from potato and almonds.
Gnocchi is always good.
Yeah, gnocchi, I love it. And you can just make wonderful organic sauces, a little bit of pesto sauce or whatever you want to do. And one of the things I do with zoodles is I take an avocado, I whip it up so that it's creamy. I put it in my Vitamix, the whole thing, and make it like whipped up a little bit. And then I dump it on the zoodles, and I mix it in with the zoodles. I put a little bit of spray olive oil on it, a little bit of pepper, tiny bit of salt, and you would think I'm eating in a 5-star restaurant. It's that good.
Oh, I bet so. That sounds marvelous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can take that avocado cream that you stuck in a Vitamix and you're making it creamy, and you can put that on almond pasta or quinoa pasta or rice pasta, and it will be so good, better than, I think, tomato sauce. I love it because it adds a creaminess to it that it's non-dairy. It's just avocado.
It's great that you mentioned the sprayer, too, because that's a good way of doing portion control on salad dressing and a lot of other things, rather than just dumping the bottle onto a salad, right? If you take a sprayer and have a light dressing.
A mister, yeah.
And mist it on, you'll get the same taste benefit, but a lot less calories.
Right. And you'll get, it'll be more evenly distributed as well. And you won't have a pile of oil, like a little puddle of oil at the bottom of your plate, which tells you put on too much, right? So I like misting olive oil. I like cayenne pepper, and I think it's very healthy. It's good for your circulatory system. And they make a beautiful Thai curry sauce that you can get in the health food store that's organic, and that is coconut in it, not dairy, and nothing bad in it. It's pretty amazing, and you can just take a teaspoon of that and mix it in. There's so many things you can do quick to take care of yourself, and that's what we're here to do at Natural Health Radio. This is Dr. Dale's Natural Health Radio, and we want to remind you to go to wellnesscenter.net. At the very top, you see free self-tests. That's for you to take a test and figure out. It helps you to figure out what your symptoms are related to. You can also take the glyphosate test, which is in the shopping cart. You can buy the glyphosate test, and it's done with urine. And you send it into the lab. You buy the lab kit, and they send it to your house. And the price includes an appointment with me, 30 minutes to go over it with you, should you want to do that. You can also do a 5-element hormone saliva test, which is unique to me because I invented that saliva test panel. And you can find out so beautifully what your hormone levels are. And then it includes a 30-minute appointment with me, and we can figure out what you could do naturally, homeopathically, to help your body rebuild normal hormone production at any age. And then you're going to say, well, that doesn't make sense. Yes, it does, because when you get on in years, when you get past 50, 60, 70 years old, see, your body is, your ovaries and the hepatic glutathione, and the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, that's still working, but your ovaries are not producing. So, but your adrenal glands can make all the hormones you need if you're nice to them. And I'd love to teach you how to be nice to them, because your hormones, you could have no hormone problems, never have hot flashes, never have insomnia. And all you need to do is to learn a protocol on how to easily do that. It starts with a saliva test. So I want to encourage you, check that out at drdaleswellnessstore.com, and you can call us and you can order it that way if you're computer shy. That's 800-219-126-1261. Now, let us know. Let me know how you liked our segments today and what you would like to hear and what you need. And then we can talk about it right here on Natural Health Radio and Facebook Live. We want to thank you for being with us today. and remind you that we have so many articles and press releases and videos for you to use to learn from. And if you become a member of our Wellness Optimization Club, you will have so much education for yourself that will free you, empower you, and your family. So again, I want to thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Have a blessed week, and we'll talk hopefully soon. Bye-bye for now.